It's common knowledge that Israel is known as the land of milk and honey, but did you know that Israel is also known as the land of the seven species? What are these seven species? Let's find out. Shalom, my friends. This is the Kiva Gersh with Israel in 5, where we give you everything Israel in 5 minutes. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, want to keep the conversation going, please do so below in the comments. The Torah, the Hebrew Bible, has a specific verse that tells us that there are seven specific, unique, and beautiful species of crops and fruit trees that the land of Israel is praised through. These are known as the seven species of the land of Israel. There are two grains, wheat and barley, and five fruits, dates, figs, olives, grapes, and pomegranates. And these together make up the seven species, again, through which the land of Israel is praised. And when you walk this land today, in modern day times, still, you see these crops or these species everywhere you go. Of course, in the fields, there are many fields and farms that are growing wheat and barley. These are very common crops to be grown in our modern day world, but also these five food trees. You can be out on a hike, miles, kilometers away from the nearest house or sign of civilization, and you will find growing wildly these different fruit trees. Of course, people and farmers will grow these as well on their farms, in their backyards, in their gardens, because these are species that are native to the land of Israel, and they do really well in the land of Israel. You'll see groves and groves of olive trees in the land of Israel. Of course, groves of date palms, right, for the date fruit. You will also see growing randomly and wildly out of nature these trees, including fig trees. Fig trees love water, and you'll often be on a hike near water along a river by a pool of water, and you'll see a fig tree growing right there. It's an amazing thing to see and reminds us of this ancient verse going back thousands of years ago that describes the land of Israel exactly like that. Now, these species also show up very much in Jewish practice, Jewish ritual, various ways, and at various times in Judaism. Right? Going back to the temple that used to stand in Jerusalem, there was the menorah. The menorah had to be lit every single day with pure olive oil, the purest of the pure olive oil, purer than we can even imagine. They say that they would only take the first drop of each olive, right, from an olive that they were using to make the olive oil for the menorah in the temple. You can imagine how many olives they needed and how long it took to make that olive oil. And that's why, actually, in the story of Hanukkah, when they only found one jar of pure oil, it took another week to make enough oil to be used in the menorah, hence the 8 days of Hanukkah and the miracle that ensued. Olive oil is part and parcel of the land. Archaeologists have found many different beit bads, as they're called here, olive presses throughout the land, going back hundreds of years, even thousands of years, showing just how much people were using olives both in their home domestic use, but also in industrial use. In order to provide olive oil for people. Mostly back then, they were not using it for eating as we do today, but they were using it for light, right, for candles, as well as rituals such as Shabbat candles and holiday candles and the like. Wine presses have been found all over the land of Israel. You can go on a hike somewhere beautiful and you can come across an ancient wine press, right, that people dug into the bedrock on that trail or right off that trail. And so also we see kind of, home size wine presses, but also industrial sized wine presses all throughout the land of Israel, again, showing us the way that one of these seven species, the grapes, was used in ancient Israel by the ancient Israelites. Again, mostly it was used for ritual. It was used for making what we call kiddush on the Shabbat and holidays, the way of sanctifying these days by saying a blessing over the wine. But also, wine was used as a fairly regular drink, especially because oftentimes the water in a certain area wasn't actually the cleanest. So people would drink wine, which was better for their health, actually, than water. And we see these other species as well, the pomegranates, right? We see a Rosh Hashanah time, they come out in abundance, and that's why one of the foods that is ritually eaten on Rosh Hashanah is a pomegranate. Figs, if you have never had a fresh fig, it's an unbelievable experience to pick one right off the tree, open it up, make sure it looks clean inside, and enjoy the taste. and of course dates, right? Back in ancient Israel, people would use dates very often and figs as well. They would dry them and they would press them into these wheels or these sheets, and they would take these foods on long journeys with them because it was easy to travel with. It wouldn't go bad, and it was like a superfood. Right? These foods are like ancient superfood that would give travelers incredible amounts of energy for their way. So these are the 7 species of Israel that the ancient Torah talks about. And you can still see in modern day Israel as you walk around this land, travel around this land, hike around this land, and incredible to see yet again the connection between the ancient times of Israel and the modern times of Israel. All the best, my friends, and be well.